Hey guys, Chris Cookin' Nashville here. Man, do we have a cool recipe for you today. This one is inspired by Mr. Wes himself from Highfalutin Low Carb because one of the best videos I've ever watched of his was a keto grits battle. I know how much his heart was yearning for something to taste like grits. Well, Wes, buddy, I've got your answer for you, I do believe. Today, carnivore grits, and we've got them 3 different ways. All right, guys, we are going to dive into some carnivore grits. I'm going to show you how to make this. I think this is an incredible recipe. I grew up eating grits. I love grits. My dad loves grits. He and I used to have them with just salt and butter, but there's so many different ways you can top them. I've got 3 very classic dishes here using grits without all of the carbohydrate guilt from eating all of that ground up corn that grits is made out of. We have the butter and salt. We have the amazing bacon and cheese grits over here for my lovely lady. And we have the classic shrimp and grits. I'm gonna have Ash try all of these. I'm definitely gonna try them as well. And then we're gonna show you guys how Wes should make these grits so he can finally have those low carb grits he's been looking for.
Yeah.
You ready to dive into these?
Oh, yes, I am.
Yes.
I love grits. I'm so excited. I figured let's start with just the butter and salt.
Yeah.
Kind of normal.
Yep, so there's butter and salt on top of it. If you want to stir it together a little bit, go for it.
Oh, already just kind of like stirring it up though. It's very like texture.
Fluffy?
Yeah, like very fluffy. Get out of here. Get out. Wow.
Man, those are good.
Wow. Babe,
Now, if someone told you those are not actually grits, would you know?
I think they are really grits. Clearly with these, you taste the salt and you taste the butter. However it is that you got, whatever is in this dish to taste like grits when I know that there's no corn, no grain, no nothing, blows my mind. My Nana used to make grits all the time. She would do butter and salt. She would put sugar on them, maple syrup. So I grew up eating grits. And I mean, this is spot on.
It's a memory in a bowl.
It really is. I have to give you props. I'm assuming this is made out of some form of egg. I didn't know what it was going to taste like. I was kind of afraid that this one would taste like egg.
Yeah.
I literally do not taste any egg whatsoever. And like the texture on how you have like the little like bits and it's kind of like, I mean, it just tastes like a bowl of grits. I just don't understand how you got the texture to be just like actual grits.
Yeah.
That is very impressive.
Been working on that for a while, trying to figure out how I would do this. Before you finish that entire bowl and get full.
I'm going to eat that, yes.
Yes, we're going to finish that up.
Oh, wait, there's more.
There's more. We have bacon and cheese grits. So it's the same grits recipe, and then I added cheese, and I have chopped up bacon, and a couple of little, ways that I'll do that. I'll show you guys that in the video as well. But she loves cheese grits, and she loves bacon. So she was like, make me bacon cheese grits. I said, okay.
This just got better. Well, you gotta get some cheese, you gotta get some bacon.
So there's cheese cooked through it, and there's also cheese on top because, cheese.
Oh my Lord, babe. Babe.
That's the best bowl of cheese grits I've ever had. And they're not even grits.
I think, okay, favorite carnivore thing you've ever made. Hands down.
Yeah.
I mean, it literally tastes just like actual grits. The texture is like blowing my mind.
I put some chives over the top too. Ding, ding, ding. Woo, woo. Carnivore police.
I think they add a lot to it. Don't
Oh, yeah.
ruin my day. Let me eat my bacon, cheesy, whatever. Man, this is a tough job.
I know.
And this looks so pretty too. It looks like something out of a magazine.
It's unbelievable.
That was a lot of flavor, man. That's awesome. That is like a mouthful of flavor. Just so good.
I'm going to show you guys how to make that sauce by using the shrimp shells to make your own shrimp stock in the video as well. I think this is a very, very successful video. And although I'm tempted to just end it here and dive face first into this plate of carnivore grits, I know you guys are waiting to see how to make these, but this is dedicated to the hard work of a really great friend and a really wonderful man, Wes from Highfalutin Low Carb, because he does so much to try to just give people good information about good recipes in the low carb space. I've watched him for a long time. Ash and I have really appreciated just his kindness. He's featured some of my recipes. He's a really good man. He's a really, really good friend. Even though I haven't gotten to meet him in person, I hope we do. I'd love to have him over for dinner if he ever makes it this way to Nashville. You let me know, man. This one is for you. So let me show you guys and let me show Wes how we make carnivore grits. Here's our ingredients to make our carnivore grits. We're going to go through them all and get ready to have some fun. 4 cups of liquid egg whites, use them from the container or crack your own. 2 tablespoons of egg white powder, more about that in just a minute. 2 tablespoons of beef gelatin, half now and half used later. 1 stick or 8 tablespoons of butter. We're going to use that in 2 separate pieces. I like salted personally, but use whatever you like. And then I have water and cream, which we will use and measure later. This is egg white powder made with cage-free eggs from sportprotein.com. If you're looking for a high-quality egg white powder for recipes like this, I'm partnering with them now to offer you guys a discount. All of that information will be in my description box. I highly recommend you go to sportprotein.com and check it out for your egg white powder needs. Now we're going to pour our egg whites into the carafe of a blender. Now we'll add half of the unflavored beef gelatin. We're going to save the other half for a little bit later. Next is 2 tablespoons of egg white powder. Now we're going to put the lid on the blender and put it on its base. We're going to blend this on low for about 10 to 15 seconds, and then we're just going to turn it up on high and immediately turn it back off. You can see this whips a little bit of air into the eggs, but we want to minimize that to have a nice liquid egg white mixture that we can now cook. Now we're going to preheat a large nonstick skillet to medium, and we're going to cut our stick of butter in half. Put the first half into the skillet to melt, set the other half aside. Once the butter is fully melted, we can go ahead and pour in our egg white mixture to start cooking. All we need to do is stir and scramble these egg whites, trying to keep from getting more color on them than necessary. They are probably going to brown just a little bit, and that's okay. We just don't want any more of that than we absolutely need. As your egg whites get fully scrambled, make sure to keep chopping them up into smaller and smaller pieces until you get them fully cooked and dry. Once you have them all scrambled and chopped up finely, we're going to go ahead and add 1 cup of water right on top. Now this seems counterintuitive, but this is really important. We're going to add this right on top of the eggs and stir well. Now that water in there is going to start to steam, and that's going to allow us to cook these eggs in a completely different way. So we're actually going to keep cooking and stirring until all that water has evaporated. All you need to do is pull the eggs to the side and tilt the pan, and you will see if there is still water left, that it all runs into that empty space. You can see these are almost dry, but when I pull the eggs back and tilt the pan, you can see there's still a little bit of water to cook out right there. And after a couple more minutes, you can see when I pull the eggs to the side and tilt the pan, there is no water left. That's what we want. Now while the egg whites are hot, we're going to put them into a food processor. You could also do this with a knife. It's just going to take a very long time. Now all we need to do is put the lid on our food processor, and we're going to start pulsing this. After about 10 to 12 pulses, we're going to stir the large pieces down so we can get them back down to the blade to make sure everything is evenly pulsed. Then we just put the lid back on and pulse a few more times until we get a fluffy, grainy texture that looks just like grits. And you can see I'm interrupting my sous chef's nap time today by making a video. Now we're going to put our pan back on the stove on a medium-low heat, and we're going to add the other half stick of butter. And if you are going to make shrimp and grits, take 1 cup of weak bone broth, chicken preferably. Pour that into a saucepan. Make sure this is not too salty because it is going to cook down more, so it actually should be undersalted. And to that, add the shells that came off of the shrimp you're going to be cooking. We're going to bring this up to a boil and then let it sit so that we can make shrimp stock. In the pan with the other half stick of melted butter, we are going to dump in our grits mixture. And then we're going to stir all that melted butter through these grits and start to fry them slightly. You're going to keep frying them until they start to look like this, where they don't clump quite so much and they break apart and look fluffy. And for your shrimp and grits, just go ahead and strain those shells out of that stock. Now that our grits are fluffy, we're going to start by adding a half cup of heavy cream, and we're going to start mixing this through. Then all we need to do is keep adding cream about 1/4 cup at a time until you get the texture of grits that you like. For me, it took about 1 cup to get that. The last thing we need to do is add another 1/4 cup of water. and sprinkle over that last tablespoon of beef gelatin and stir it through really well. A great technique for avoiding lumps is to fold over and push down and pull. Fold underneath, over, and push down and pull. And there's our carnivore grits. Now all we need to do is taste it for salt, and we can set these aside and finish up the shrimp and get ready to plate. We're gonna fry our shrimp in bacon grease over a medium-high heat. Make sure your skillet is nicely preheated. I'm gonna add just a sprinkle of Creole seasoning to these. And after 30 seconds to a minute, I'm gonna flip them to the other side, cook them all the way through. And after a couple of minutes, these are cooked and ready to come out of the pan. Then we just add our shrimp and chicken stock into the pan to cook all that flavor into it. Add just a couple of tablespoons of cream. We'll whisk that together really well. And we'll whisk in a small handful of Parmesan cheese. Cook this mixture until it gets thick like a sauce. Throw the shrimp back in and you're ready to put it on top of your grits. For the cheese grits, all we need to do is add in shredded cheese. A couple of handfuls is good. And then we're gonna add in a couple tablespoons of Parmesan cheese. You may also need to add a splash of cream if it gets too thick. Stir it all together. And then we're gonna do a little bit of garlic powder and a little bit of white pepper, but all seasoning is totally to your taste. Stir it through and you've got cheesy grits. Now we can plate everything up. I've got regular grits with plain salt and butter, and I've got cheesy grits that I'm gonna add bacon and shrimp over the top. All right, y'all, that is how we make the carnivore grits. I'm super excited that this recipe now exists in the world. I hope you guys are going to find all sorts of uses for it. I think that's all we have for you today. Wes, I hope you enjoyed this shout out today. I hope all of you watching have enjoyed watching how this recipe has come together, and I hope you're gonna try it. Let us know in the comments below what you think. Also, put in the comments down below, what would you like to top your grits with? Because I would love to see if you have some ideas that maybe we didn't think of. Also, a big shout out to sportprotein.com. I'm going to put their link across the screen here for you, and I'm going to put it in the description box down below along with a discount code. It is all American farmers. It's all cage-free eggs, very high quality stuff. Put together a discount code for you guys that basically brings the price of this comparable down to the competitors that are on Amazon. Per pound, it's about the same price. It might be a few dollars more, maybe a few dollars less, depending on which one you're looking at, but it's right there in that range. Some of the ones that we get on Amazon, I know sometimes when they throw them on ridiculous sales, maybe you can get them cheaper, I don't know. I also don't know where those come from. This, I know exactly where it comes from, and I can talk to the guy who can give me all the information about it. We are very appreciative of Ryan just reaching out and letting us know that he would like to work with us and that he would be willing to extend a discount for you guys. He has a number of different sizes. You don't have to get the 10 pound. You can get smaller ones than this. You can actually get bigger ones than this. And I think he said if you want to get an even bigger one, like if you do this and you want to really invest in something like egg white powder so you can make lots of these kinds of recipes, if that works really well for you, I think he said he's gonna work on maybe even a better discount in the future. So I'm gonna link it all down below, give you the information. So definitely make sure to go check out sportprotein.com and get yourself some egg white powder and tell him Chris Cookin' Nashville sends you with that discount code. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Chris Cooking Nashville, my lovely wife Ash Taylor. Eat your meat, especially if it looks like carnivore grits. Love your life, and we're gonna see you right here in the kitchen for the next recipe. Now it's time to mess up a bowl of grits.
I've already messed up too. Don't put the bacon away. Keep it close always.
Keep the bacon close.
Keep the bacon close. We need to have Wes over for some grits when he's in Nashville. And
Yeah.
you're hot. So hot. Good God.